Well, good morning, everybody. Back at it again. So, project's going well. Very labor intensive, but what I'm doing, if you haven't tuned in before, is I am finishing this deck around my work shed. Now, this houses my tools. It provides me with a place to process my animals that I harvest during hunting season, and it is just kind of a little place of refuge for me to sit and meditate and ponder possibilities for inspired arts and crafts and things that may need to be done around the house and so on. It's my meditation chamber, as they say. Sometimes it's the doghouse, but yeah, what do you do? Everybody needs a place of solitude and reflection and so on. So, I just wanted to share with you where I'm at this point. Like I said, it's not my favorite job to resand and refinish, but it absolutely needs to be done. So, if you want to preserve what you've built and you want to maintain a certain quality with your environment in your home and not backslide into having major repairs and major expenses, this is part of what I'm doing. This is going to be probably an ongoing series of many different projects because I have to catch up with my life. I've been a serviceman for many years. I was in the infantry when I was quite young, not knowing what to do with myself, and it's led me to a life of not really being available for my home, my family, and it's just got to change. Absolutely has to change. So I've started an online business that will be able to afford me some more time to spend at home, and hopefully will replace my income that I have working for corporations and so on, and all the trials and tribulations that go with that. But anyways, so to get right to the point, I built this shed about 5-6 years ago, and because of my work, it has taken me away from my home, and this is my first home. I was able to finally afford a 1974 bungalow, and it was in very poor repair. So I've since discarded outbuildings where my truck is that were from the 1940s, as well as I'm in the process of reconstructing the interior and exterior of my little home that I'm probably going to spend the rest of my life in. Previous videos were replacing the storm doors, which turned out particularly well. These are Home Depot doors, and the other doors that I had on here were in a sorry state. Weather stripping was deteriorated, and the yard arming of wind catching the door because it wasn't closing properly just created all kinds of damage. But that project's done. This project is so I've finished belt sanding the majority of this deck, and I'm in the process of just finishing up the last border. So I wanted to protect, not digging into the side of the walls with the belt sander, but I've been using a flush cut tool with a sanding attachment, and have been working my way around to finish that off. I've replaced boards in the corners that were broken and damaged, like say this one, and I've custom fit those boards, smoothed everything out, and like anything, you got to work from the ground up. So there's pretty much where I left off, and I have to continue all the way around this side to my end, which is going to be close to this door here. You can see. So it's definitely a work in progress, and time is short. Winter's coming, and I need to get this done and stained so that it protects it from the winter elements and maintains the health of the boards. And then further to that, on the staining side of things, there, I'll put it on pause and show you what I'm gonna do next. So I'm in my home now. Turn this around. I have this wonderful table that I salvaged from the second-hand store. So it's an oak veneer on top, which you can't sand too terribly much because it may only be a couple of millimeters thick, but it had a burn mark right here, either a candle or something like that, that has created a bit of an issue. So I'm just going through many ways of trying to solve that issue and to refinish it. But this is next on the agenda, since I'm going to be restaining outside. May as well do the table. I particularly like this table. It is a really nice long table. It's really awesome. It fits in my kitchen well, and it would be the place that we gather around for special events like Christmas and Thanksgiving and so on, and I can seat probably 10 people without having to be too crowded with each other. Room for elbows and such like. Anyways, I'm just gonna continue documenting as I go, and I'll try to videotape some of it without being too boring, and maybe do some fast forwarding and stuff like that as I come into different quirks and different little idiosyncrasies along the way. I'll address those with you, and maybe, you know, please reach out to me if you have better ways of doing things, as well as I'm trying to share my knowledge as well. It's always good to have comments and maybe some support with some likes and so on as this goes, because I'm kind of on my own doing this all, and being a serviceman for many years out there, I decided that it would be a really good thing to change the lifestyle and bring it home and sweep my own doorstep, so to speak, before I go out and sweep anybody else's. So anyways, on with the journey. Catch up to you soon. Okay, making progress here. Pretty much got the remainder of it done all the way around to the door again, at least for the most part, kind of in rough form. So just wanted to kind of touch on the tools that I'm using. Yeah, okay, vibrating sander and stuff like that, that's great. But the thing that I found that has really been effective, saving me a huge amount of time, is my flush cut tool. So it comes with a assortment of bits that I'm able to change for cutting in really tight places, really awkward places that you just can't get a saw into. But it's got these sanding tools. So if you can see here, this is a kind of like a diamond embedded bit. It's a nice triangular shape, so you can work corners and things like that. This has become invaluable in the sense that, you know, if you're going to do it like my grandfather, he'd make a jig that was like a wedge kind of thing, and wrap it with sandpaper and sit there and scrape and scrape and scrape and sand and sand and sand. You might have a file or something like that to also get into this, but wow, this modern equipment is awesome. I can turn that thing on a 45-degree angle, and I can get in between my boards and shave off the remaining old stain and or paint, and comes off really quite easily. Can't rush it in the sense that if you put too much pressure on it, it's going to gouge, and then that leads to more sanding and more wood loss. But used correctly, just allow it to do its thing and cut, and apply just a nice even pressure. More or less what I'm using is the weight of the flush cut tool and the vibration of it takes it off in no time. So pretty darn awesome. And you know, because I made these boards and I pre-made them as far as like cutting them to length, for the most part I pre-stained them, so in between the boards it's painted really good and it hasn't degraded over time. But just in case my stain that I'm going to put on this time, even though being the same that I put on the last time, I'm really kind of skeptical about that. So what I want to do is I want to get off the visible stain that I used before and that has deteriorated, and just by, like I said, putting that flush cut tool in on a 45 and then just evening it out, I can put a new bevel on each board on both sides. So it's coming out really good. Enjoying my time, and of course you got to wear, you know, protection. There's a lot of dust and cedar in your lungs. Any wood dust in your lungs is very hard for it to come out, if at all. So always wear, you know, safety equipment, eye protection. In this case, there's nothing flying so much as in just dust, but hearing protection and breathing protection for sure is required in this case. So yay, everything's going okay. Just to keep this video short, I'm just gonna kind of lay off here, and then with the videoing, and if I come up on anything quirky or whatever, I will include you guys into it. Just to give you a close-up of what's going on. See that? And there's the rough. So you can see how I've got to smooth it out still, and I've got to kind of round it. But right there, that is how to get it down and create a new bevel and remove some of that visible old paint or stain. And it's working really good. I'm saving a hell of a lot of time as opposed to doing it by hand and getting into the groove and everything. So, cheers! Catch up to you later. Well, there she be. Who needs an exercise program when you got stuff to do like this? So that would be at least the deck itself. Yeah, you get a little bit of chipping it, rounded corners, coming over. More rounded corners. So, done all the beveling. Sorry guys. Done all the beveling inside here. Nice and round. You can see that. What a day. Like I said, not my favorite job, but to any good job, it's well worth the time. So what have I accomplished? I've accomplished finishing all the beveling of all my end. I've sanded all the end grains. I've sanded and beveled all in between the individual boards. I've gone over my work probably 2 or 3 times just to catch all those places that, yeah, felt lazy at that moment and so on. Kept up with my stretches and my mobilizations of my body. Any health and safety course that you go through, that's within the program, especially for occupational health and safety through your employers and through your work. I know those guys, they say, oh, we don't have time for that. Oh, well, we'll just fill out those reports and we'll just assume that you guys did it and stuff like that. But don't let me catch you doing it, really, because, you know, that's just a waste of time, and time's money. Yeah, but it's your body that suffers. And what good are you if you're crippled or dysfunctional because of injury and so on? Does that waste time? Does that waste energy? Does that waste revenue? Right? Anyway, so yeah, this baby's ready to go on the bottom part at least. And I don't know, I'll have to do a test on this side. Like, it really didn't deteriorate because it was vertical standing. The trim definitely needs a touch up, which I've started sanding here, and it's gonna make that much better. But you see how it's weathered quite a lot. So to apply new stain to that, well, it might look a little bit funny as well. And the whole idea is to let the footprint on this planet. There's a few trees that already died for this thing. So I want to honor and respect nature and treat it properly and treat it right. So a lot of these skills, you know, through my high school education and that, I took wood shop and so on. All those little things, you know, they're applicable through your whole life. I'm not saying that education is bad. It's got its drawbacks, but there's a few awesome teachers that come alongside of you and actually teach you real life skills to be able to be functional in this world and to make your life so much easier for employment as well as opportunity. So if you guys, you younger kids, you know, we gave our shop teachers hell at the best of times. And God bless their souls because they were so patient with us. And you know, all these years later, I'm using every single thing that I actually learned from them. And in some cases, God rest their soul, but I'm honoring them and carrying it forward. And that's why I'm making a lot of these videos too. Not only I'm figuring out and involving myself in better ways to make a living, recapturing my life, focusing it here in my my dwelling, getting my exercise for sure. Like, who needs to go to a gym after you sand a deck all day, you know? I've been working at this for a good 7 hours straight. I haven't even taken lunch, so I probably lost a pound or two. I've stayed hydrated. I'm changing my metabolism to work on my fat reserves as opposed to just cheap calories that I'm ingesting. And I'm keeping up with my stretches and my mobilizations to increase my muscle strength, my productivity, my flexibility, and so on. So why waste your time in the gym when you can actually do something productive and add quality and benefit to your life and document it, share it with the world? So what? I'm not such a great videographer. Well, everybody's got to start somewhere. No guts, no glory. And I'm doing it, so I can only get better. Anyways, thanks for participating with me if you followed my posts on Facebook this far, and a like. And yeah, if you got any comments, anything that I could have done differently, please share. You know, it's an open forum. That's what it's meant for. And if you're interested in what I'm doing as far as online as a digital business to start, reach out to me, and I can provide a link with a video. And you know, don't judge if you haven't done it, or if you think it's all hooey and you can't actually be worthy of of making an income in a different way, well, maybe you're not in the right place. But I would encourage you to take a chance, like I have, and find out, oh, gee, really? That's possible? Oh, and there's help and support and a team available for you. And gee, guess what? There are people like you and me. So if you actually do get in contact with me and go down the path of figuring out what I'm doing as far as an online business, I'm going to be your mentor, and I will stick with you and help you through the ups, the downs, celebrate the wins, celebrate your life, and compliment you the best that I can by being available to help you through every step of the process. And it doesn't have to stop there. That's just one step in the wheel of life. My purpose is to be at home with my family and not be on the road 24/7, not making the man his money and possibly ripping off our seniors and people that really need help. I'm going to expand. It's going to be multifaceted, and I'm going to add to my sources of income to make a stable life for myself without sacrificing my body, my health, and my family's well-being. So if you're interested, hey, glad to know you, glad to meet you. Let's get her done. Okay, it's quitting time. I'm finished. We'll catch up to you guys probably tomorrow. Cheers.